Welcome back. I'm Dr. Hazel Huang, and we're going to look at how to set up your Qualtrics survey, from creating your project to adding your informed consent block. Let's dive in. The very first thing you do when you open Qualtrics, creating your project. This is where your survey lives, and it only takes a moment to set up. Here's how to create a new project. First, log into Qualtrics, and you'll land on your homepage. Click the Create a New Project button in the bottom right corner here. For some, the button may appear in the bottom left corner, so look around. You'll be given a few options. Select Survey. Then choose Get Started. Qualtrics will ask you to name your project. Give it a name that you'll recognize. I'm going to call mine YouTube Project. Once you hit Create Project, you'll be taken straight into the survey editor. You'll see a default block has already been created. This is where your questions will live. Now, take a moment to get oriented. On the left panel, you'll see different functional buttons. We'll mainly use Builder and Survey Flow in this video. Hitting the Builder button, you'll be able to come back to where your survey questions are. On the top, you can see Preview and Publish here. The Preview button is very useful, as you can preview the survey to see how it works and looks on a computer and on a mobile phone. Creating your informed consent block must come before anything else in your survey. The informed consent appears in the form of an invitation letter. Your university's ethics office will usually provide a template. Just adapt it to fit your own study. If your university doesn't provide a template, you can search online to see whether you can find one that suits your need. We covered what to include in the letter in the questionnaire design video. It's worth a look if you haven't already. I also included a link down below to the letter I'll be using here. Adapt it to fit your research if you like. Now, how you implement this in Qualtrics depends on how sensitive your study is. For most undergraduate and master's dissertations, the simplest approach works well, so that's what I'll show you here. First, add a new block at the top of your survey by clicking Add Block. Then open Survey Flow to reorder it so it appears before your other blocks. Rename it Informed Consent by coming back to the Survey Builder and clicking the block name. You'll be able to change it to whatever you want. Inside it, click Add New Question and then click Text/Graphic. This lets you paste in your full invitation letter. I have the letter ready in Word, and I'll just copy and paste it over. Now, once participants have read the letter, you need to obtain their explicit consent. We'll add a multiple choice question. By clicking Yes below, you confirm that you're at least 18 years old, that you have read and understood the information above, and that you consent to participate in the study. Let's preview it to see how it works. Click Preview. You'll find that it doesn't matter whether I click Yes, No, or skip the question entirely. The survey takes me straight to the next one. It doesn't look right, as you want to make sure that only those who respond by clicking Yes can continue to the survey. How do we do that? We need to enable force response and also add a survey logic. First, to ensure participants cannot continue without answering the question, we'll go to Response Requirements and enable force response. Second, we need to add branch logic so that when participants decline to participate, they are directed to exit the survey and shown a thank you for considering message. How do we do it? Go to Survey Flow, add the branch logic, set the condition. If the answer to the informed consent question is no, then direct participants to the first end of survey element. Finally, add an end of survey element and customize the message to thank them for considering participation in the study. Participants who answer yes will bypass that branch entirely and continue through the survey, reaching the second end of survey element at the end. So we add another end of survey element, and we can use the default message here. The default message is to thank participants for their participation. Now let's test it out. Click Preview. If I click Yes, I'll start the survey. If I click No, then I'll be directed to the end of survey element with the message thanking me for considering participation. If I don't respond and click Next, the system will remind me to respond to the question before being able to continue. And that's it. That wraps up our session on setting up your Qualtrics project and informed consent block. If you found this helpful, be sure to check out our other videos. The best research doesn't just ask questions, it asks the right questions. Keep questioning, and I'll see you soon.